Kitani Cultural Centre, located on Pleasant Valley Road in Vernon, BC, is a haven for artists from the community and from around the world to explore and experience a large range of art and art techniques. It is a place for artists and those interested to attend workshops and exhibits and learn many different techniques and styles of art. The Kitani Centre has what are called artists in residence, which means that they live on the property for certain amounts of time and work on many different types of art. The centre puts on many events year-round that locals are invited to attend. One of the most popular events is a lantern festival held each October. Not only is this cultural centre an invaluable asset to Vernon's art community today, but the intriguing and dramatic history of how it came to be is a must here. This Victorian heritage home was built in 1895 on 1.5 acres of land by Samuel Somerville. The original home was very basic, but in 1903, the property was sold to A.G. Mueller, owner of the Coldstream Hotel. Mueller renovated the home extensively, including the addition of a back wing. The house was sold to Leon Kitani of Italy in the year 1921. Leon Kitani was a known anti-fascist and prominent political figure in Rome. In addition, he was a duke, a prince, and a marquis who spoke 11 different languages fluently and wrote a 10-volume works on the history of Islam. His books are still used in universities around the world today. Due to his vast knowledge of politics, Kitani predicted the rise of fascism in Italy and decided to move his wife Ophelia and their 4-year-old daughter Sveva to Canada. Leon had visited the Kootenays in 1890 while on a bear hunting trip, and he came away calling Canada the most beautiful country in the world. Leon's English heritage attracted him to the British ideas of free speech, thought, and expression, and it was in such an atmosphere that he wished for his daughter Sveva to be raised. He liked the idea of being a gentleman farmer in the Okanagan, so he and his family arrived in Vernon by train in the summer of 1921. Leon solely focused on living a peaceful and simple life in Vernon, which was the exact opposite of his family's life in Rome. He became both an orchardist and a woodsman and enjoyed the tranquility of his new lifestyle. Because Leon spent so much time in his orchard and woodlot, life was extremely lonely for his wife Ophelia. She was fluent in French and there were hardly any French-speaking people for her to talk to. Ophelia's transition from an extravagant high society life in Italy to small-town Vernon was very difficult. Her high-fashion wardrobe and attitude did not fit in. Leon assured that Sveva was well-educated and had plenty of opportunity to express herself. He encouraged her to paint often. She read, wrote, and spoke English, Italian, and French, and attended school at Crofton House in Vancouver for several years. She spent a lot of time traveling to Europe with her family. Her well-educated and flourishing years came to an abrupt halt when her father died of cancer in 1935. She was just 18 years old. Upon Leon's death, Ophelia became very depressed and feared being alone. She removed Sveva from school in Vancouver and forced her to return home. Sveva was absolutely forbidden to leave the house. Eventually, she was allowed to go into the yard and occasionally allowed to venture into town, but she had to be escorted. Sveva was confined by her mother for 25 years. This entire time, she was not allowed to do what she loved the most, and that was to paint. She was forbidden to see or talk with her friends, and her mother would take away any letters written back and forth between them, thus increasing her isolation. During these 25 years of seclusion, when Sveva was imprisoned by her oppressive and tyrannical mother, she was, however, allowed to read. So that's what she did, for hours each day. In 1960, when Sveva was 43 years old, Ophelia passed away. Upon her death, Ophelia left most of the large family fortune to the Roman Catholic Church, leaving Sveva to fend for herself. because she had been living in seclusion for so many years, Sveva did not have any practical job skills. Sveva was now able to venture outside of her home and property, and with intense dedication, she went to Victoria and obtained her teacher's certificate. She returned home to Vernon and became a beloved local legend, an admired artist, and a charismatic art teacher. She taught for 11 years, including schools such as Charles Bloom Secondary in Lumbee. Sveva's last project was a book called Recapitulation, which was accompanied by a series of 56 watercolor paintings produced between 1978 and 1989. The paintings and book represent her complicated and difficult life journey. Because these paintings were done so late in her life, Sveva completed many of them while she was confined to a wheelchair and her hands were crippled. Sveva died in 1994, just 6 months before Recapitulation was published. It was Sveva's wish that the complete set of paintings for Recapitulation be donated to an art institution in her own province, but having the donation rejected several times in BC, the paintings are now at the Alberta Foundation for Arts in Edmonton. Sveva left her house and property to the Vernon Art Gallery to be used as a space for artists. She also donated many of her old books to Okanagan University College.
You were the one when the dark tried to take me. You were the one from the start. They never saw, but I saw how you saved me. You were the one from the start.